All right, let's turn to some running backs, guys, position. And we're going to start with Denzel's teammate, Jonah Coleman, who I had not had an opportunity to watch. But I'll save my comp for later. I don't want to get you distracted. But he is officially verified 5'8.5", 227. And he is thickly built, in my opinion. You can tell me if I'm wrong about that. He is a tough runner. Tell me what you think of this. I thought he did a good job of being patient at the line of scrimmage, runs with a low center of gravity because he doesn't have a choice. He will run between the tackles. Like, he's not looking to bounce everything, but he does have the ability to turn the corner. I don't know how fast he is in space. I thought he's really good in pass protection, given the constraints of college guys being asked to pass block. Also, as a threat as a receiver. I wanted to see him run. Like, he would break tackles at the line of scrimmage. I wanted to see him run through more arm tackles at the second and third level. I wanted to see more of that. Still a lot to like. I think he's going to be one of the top running backs drafted. What do you think of Jonah Coleman?
Man, he's a tank. Like you said the verified measurables was what, 5'8.5"?
227, yep.
227. So that would have been from the spring. I know he was a verified 222 probably during camp.
Okay.
So I don't know what his current weight is, but like you said, I see him as a good 3-down backup running back. Like you said, he's short, he's compact built, runs with a good low center of gravity. I thought he had vision, feet, feel for setting his block and attack increases. You mentioned it, and we talk about it here on the show. He runs with that patience to it, explode through it mentality. So you saw that with good contact balance. I do think he's more quick than he is fast. I don't think he has, the top end speed. And I see, like you talked about, I said he can get on the second level, but he lacks that home run speed, elusiveness to, take it a distance. I liked his willingness and pass protection to be able to face up guys. Again, he's going to have to work on it, as all young running backs will have to do. But he's willing. And to me, if you shows that you're willing, then we can coach you on the rest of it. My big worry for him, that as a backup running back who's 5'8.5", like, if he's not a part of the rotation, like, where's his fit on special teams? Where can he play on special teams? He's going to probably be too small in most capacities on punt teams. So at most, he's probably going to have to be a personal protector. He's not going to have the necessary length playing on the wing. Don't know where he is just in terms of where he's going to fit on the kickoff team. Maybe he's a contained guy, 2 on L2 or R2 on the kickoff team. Now, he does have a chance to be a kickoff returner or off returner in this new format, just because you can. And Pete Prisco and I, we were having this argument. He was like, why can't you teach a wide receiver or someone who's more explosive to return kicks? I'm like, this is different now because the way you have the walls and the line set up on both sides, and then you restrict that zone between, the actual kickoff team and the kickoff return team, is essentially like a O-line, D-line. And
right,
so you put guys back there that are used to reading blocks and being able to, whereas you put a receiver back there in the old format, guys, they're just running a daylight.
Right.
And that just makes more sense. That's why you're probably starting to see more running backs playing back there, because you can essentially treat it like the first offensive snap, of a drive. So my worry for Jonah is, where's he going to fit on special teams if he is your third running back?
So he has 3 kick returns so far this season. Only had 1 last season. No punt returns that I know about. You bring up an interesting point. If you're not a starter in the NFL, and that's 22 of 53 roster spots, do you have to be able to play special teams? If you're running back 2, wide receiver 4, whatever, tight end 2?
If you're a high end 2, no. Because there's a role for you on offense, right? Like, so you're going to probably play 15 to 20 snaps on offense. But if you're the third running back, you're up because you're going to you have to contribute on special teams.
Right.
In the few games that I had to play, throughout and I only played in real games with the Colts. I was up as the third, but then I was on kickoff team. I was probably the kickoff returner or off returner, depending on where we were that week, and I was on punt return. So you have to at least be on, at minimum, 2 of the big 4.
Yep.
And so you have to, but again, because of his stature and his size, that if he's not in the game plan to carry the ball. And I'll give you another example. When I was with the Rams in St. Louis, we had a guy named Chase Reynolds. He was essentially our 4th running back. And we would go into the game most times with 3 running backs. But in the event that one of our top 2 guys went down, we would bring a guy up from the practice squad and not put Chase in that role because Chase was just up to play special teams.
Gotcha.
And if we had to end the game with Chase at running back because the top 2 guys got hurt, then cool. But the next week he likely wouldn't be starting because that just wasn't his role.
Right.
Because he was so good on special teams that he was up as the 3rd running back just to play special teams.
All right, you ready for my comp?
Shoot. And I'll give you mine after.
All right. I had 2 names, but I went with this one. I'm going to go to the other one if you don't like this one. J.K. Dobbins vibes?
No.
Is J.K. more explosive in your mind?
Yeah, I think J.K. Dobbins is more explosive. He's a little more of a rugged runner. And this was I'm thinking all pre-knee injury, because even post-knee injury, you could see the stiffness, but he still runs hard. He still has contact balance. And I think they're probably from top end speed are probably similar, even though JK has ripped off some really big runs over the last couple of years since returning from the knee injury.
Yep.
But I really like JK Dobbins coming out. And I think he was a 2nd round pick.
He was the Jonathan Taylor draft. He was in that draft with Cam Akers. Yeah, all those guys were 2nd rounders.
See, I see Jonah as a day 3 pick.
Oh, okay. Because I have him as a mid-day 2 pick right now. So that also informs your decision on this comp that you don't like.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your comp? I'm not going to say it now because it's the same conversation as JK. He was also a 2nd round pick, I believe. So I won't even.
Who was your other one?
Ray Rice.
Nah.
Which one's worse, JK or Ray Rice in terms of the comp to Jonah?
Ray Rice is worse.
You think Ray was a better running back than Jonah than JK?
Yeah, Ray Rice was a legitimate starting running back in the NFL.
I don't know if he'll be as good as Ray was early in his career, but I think Jonah's going to be able to contribute. Who's your comp?
My comp was Zach Stacy. You probably don't even remember him.
I remember Zach Stacy. He played for the Rams.
Yeah, similar bill. Now Zach had a productive rookie year. I think he was almost 1,000-yard rusher, and we took him. I want to say in the 5th round, 5th or 6th round. But they were similar stature, 5'8" and some change. I think Zach probably at combine was 212, but he probably played at like 220 to 225.
5'9", 224. Look at you. You're pretty good at this. 5th round pick out of Vandy.
Yeah, and I think Jonah may have had better top end speed than Zach, but both guys had vision. They had feet, and they were a tough tackle. So that was I felt like when I was watching him, I'm like, oh yeah, he looks like Zach.
I will say this, and it's hard. I've said this forever. It's hard for me to sort of evaluate the running backs in terms of where to slot them because you have guys like Jaylen Warren, who was undrafted, who is very good at his job in Pittsburgh. But if there was a redraft, he's still not going first 2 or 2.5 rounds, maybe taking the bottom of the 3rd or something if we're starting over. But the point is, you can get these guys in day 3. And I don't know if Jonah.
You sound like Pete now. Oh, this is what Pete does. You just do this with a running back. You take him from here, you put him here. Take him here, you put him here.
Do you know that as Pete bragged to you, Pete's our colleague who's, I won't say how old he is. He's older than us.
65. I'm going to throw it out there.
And he is generously 5'4". Did he tell you what position he played in high school?
No, I know. We talk about it. He played O-line.
And Steve Hutchinson had gone to his high school, of course, after Pete. And every time Pete sees Steve, who's a Hall of Famer, I believe, he tells Steve that I'm the best offensive lineman ever to come out of this high school. And I'm sure Steve chuckles. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to prop up these running backs. I said day 2 for Jonah Coleman. I want to hear what you think about Hollywood Smothers, running back out of NC State. Now he is built a little differently. I think he's high cut. You can tell me if I disagree with that. He feels like his legs are certainly much longer than Jonah's. Short waist guy, but this guy, I think he's. Let me see what he is unofficially. I think he's a sub 200.
I think they said 195.
Yeah,
was the number I saw.
Yep, 5'10", 195. This dude runs angry, and he feels like a high knee runner. In that when knees and elbows, when you try to tackle him, you're going to get either the knee or the elbow. And he will run through arm tackles despite his quote unquote size. I think he's an asset in the pass game. They use him a lot on just sort of running back routes, quotation mark, Ian out there in the slot running Christian McCaffrey routes. Very good contact balance. And he ain't going to give you a bunch of pass protection, I think, in part because of his size. But the two words I kept coming back to were explosive and angry, and really good in sort of zone schemes where he can one cut and go it. All right, I'll tell you what I wrote down here, but you can disagree with it. He is not Isaiah Pacheco, not even close, but he runs with that sort of anger, even though he's probably 20, 25 pounds lighter than Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with that at all. Like, I'm looking through my notes right here. Contact balance was a positive for me. You mentioned I thought he was shifty. I thought he had good feet. And the note I have in here, he runs stronger than his size, which made me I wrote a little note right here to myself to check with an area scout to see what the verified weight is.
Do you think he's more or less than 195?
I think he probably is a little more. He didn't look quite 195 to me. Per se, and maybe that was a lot of just the way he ran, the violence in which he ran. Now, I said he was solid in pass protection, and the reason why I said he was because I thought he was really competitive. And again, we just talked about it with Jonah. In this day and age, with the running back position, to me, all you have to do is show the willingness that you're not turning it down, you're not getting bulldozed into the lap of the quarterback. Just show the willingness, the toughness, the fight, and then the technique and stuff will be taught to you. Because a lot of times you don't really see that in the early part. And I remember certain guys, like I'll use Todd Gurley as an example. That was the knock people had on Todd Gurley coming out. It was like, oh, he can't pass pro. And I'm like, they were like, oh, he's not tough. I'm like, have you ever watched Todd Gurley run? I'm like, you can't watch him run the football and say he's not tough.
Right.
I said, guys like that just have to know that pass pro is an expectation. And at Georgia, he carried the ball so much and he was such a focal point of the offense that if he wasn't getting the ball on third down, then that was his down off.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, again, like I like that. And I even have down in my notes here his low center of gravity in the way he ran. Like, I think this is a guy that will be another like day 3 pick that will make a team, and he'll be able to have more of a role on special teams, right? Because I could see him playing kickoff. I could see him being on the punt team as a wing. I could see him being a kickoff returner or off returner. I think I could see. Well, not think. I know I could see him playing as an edge guy on punt return. Like, there's a role for Hollywood Smothers to be your third back that's active on game day, because he can give you something on special teams, and I think there might be a little role for him on offense to work him in.
Okay, I feel another dollar bet coming on, producer Striker, and I will double down and make it easier for you. I'm going to say Jonah Coleman and Hollywood Smothers both get drafted no later than the 3rd round.
You're saying both?
Both going. I was going to say one or the other, but I don't want to cheat you out of your 50 cents. So I'm going to say both get drafted in the top 99.
I'll take that. I'll take that bet. So,
okay,
Striker, I hope you're writing these down for real, because I want my $3.
Yeah, year 1 when I did this with Rick, I got beat pretty badly. Year 2, I made some improvements in my scouting department. We did a little better. I think I won by $1 in the last day of the draft.
I want to go back to Denzel Boston. Because
you want to change already? You got nervous?
No, I'm not changing. I texted the area scout, and I told you I asked him Denzel Boston, 1st round pick, ? And he said day 2 in my opinion. I said, having that argument in real time on the pod. And he said, which side are you on? I said, I'm on the day 2 side. He was like, I already know you don't like guys who can't separate.
All right. Well, I'm gonna I'm going to send this to Denzel Boston, and we'll get his rebuttal in terms of hope it's some sizzle reel of him separating. All right. We'll find out together.